This is the kind of story that you might think only exists in the pages of a crime novel or a movie plot. A father murdered by his own daughter. But this is no fiction. It's a chilling reality that unfolded in November 2020 in Jataí, Brazil. Alex Ferreira, a 33-year-old man, was brutally killed by someone he trusted and loved, his teenage daughter. But the motive for this crime? A twisted obsession. Alex's daughter had fallen in love with her stepmother, and when that love turned to jealousy, it led to murder. Alex Ferreira was a young man with his whole life ahead of him. Living in Jataí, a city in the southern Goiás state of Brazil, Alex was known for his hard work and his dedication to his family. His life seemed to be taking a positive turn after he married 20-year-old Maely Hellen Carvalho, a woman who quickly became an important figure in his life and the lives of those around him. But there was a piece of his life that wasn't so simple: his relationship with his teenage daughter from a previous relationship. While many parents worry about how their child will react to a new partner, Alex was thrilled when his daughter seemed to get along well with Maely. Little did he know that the very bond that delighted him would soon turn into a deadly obsession. As Alex's relationship with Maely grew, something dark was brewing beneath the surface with his daughter. At first, it seemed like she was happy to have a new stepmother, but soon, Alex began noticing strange behavior. He didn't realize just how dangerous things had become until he made a horrifying discovery. Text messages and a letter his daughter had written to Maely. Messages that revealed far more than just admiration. This is where the story takes its darkest turn. How could a simple introduction between a child and a stepmother lead to murder? And what was it about this obsession that drove Alex's daughter to kill? As we dive deeper into this tragic tale, we'll uncover the chilling details behind this family's downfall. Alex Ferreira's life changed when he met and married Maely Hellen Carvalho. At 20 years old, Maely brought a breath of fresh air into Alex's world, and the couple quickly settled into their home in Jataí. Maely was described as lively and kind-hearted, fitting seamlessly into Alex's life. She became not only his partner, but also a mother figure to his teenage daughter from a previous relationship. Alex's daughter, who lived just one block away with her grandmother, would regularly visit her father and stepmother. Initially, everything seemed fine. The girl appeared to enjoy spending time with Maely, and Alex was relieved that his daughter was accepting of the new woman in his life. But what Alex didn't realize was that his daughter's feelings for Maely went far beyond simple admiration. As time went on, Alex began to notice subtle changes in his daughter's behavior. She started visiting more often, sometimes arriving unannounced and staying for long periods of time. Alex brushed it off, thinking it was normal for a young girl to want to be around her family. But soon, there were moments that felt off. One evening in November 2020, Alex stumbled upon something that would change everything. While cleaning around the house, he discovered a letter written by his daughter to Maely. The letter was intimate, emotional, and full of language that no father would want to see his child writing to their stepmother. In addition to the letter, Alex found a string of text messages on his daughter's phone. Messages expressing deep affection and even obsession for Maely. Suddenly, everything began to make sense. The constant visits, the strange glances. Alex realized his daughter wasn't just fond of her stepmother, she was in love with her. And this realization shook him to his core. Alex was now confronted with a terrifying question. How would his daughter's feelings for Maely affect their family? As Alex tried to process the discovery of his daughter's feelings, he was unsure of what to do. He didn't want to overreact, but he also knew he couldn't ignore the issue. However, as the days passed, his daughter's behavior became more erratic. She grew possessive over Maely, wanting to spend more time alone with her, and becoming visibly upset whenever Alex showed affection toward his wife. Maely, on the other hand, was unaware of the depth of Alex's daughter's feelings. She treated her stepdaughter with kindness and care, unaware that every gesture of affection was fueling a dangerous obsession. What started as admiration quickly turned into jealousy. Alex's daughter began to view her father not as a parent, but as a rival, someone standing in the way of her relationship with Maely. Alex's concerns mounted. He tried talking to his daughter about her behavior, but she denied everything, insisting that she just admired Maely as a role model. Alex, however, couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. He began limiting the time his daughter spent with Maely, hoping to ease the tension and diffuse the situation. But the more Alex tried to intervene, the worse things became. His daughter grew increasingly withdrawn and resentful. She would sit in silence, glaring at Alex while Maely and her father spent time together. The once happy, bubbly girl was now consumed by jealousy, and it was clear to Alex that this was more than just a teenage crush. The daughter's fixation on Maely reached an alarming peak. She began sneaking into her father's house when he wasn't home, leaving notes for Maely and attempting to create situations where she and Maely would be alone together. Alex could see that his daughter's mental state was deteriorating, but he was unsure how to address it. He had no idea that the situation was escalating to the point of no return. During one particularly heated conversation, Alex confronted his daughter about the inappropriate messages he had found. He demanded an explanation, but his daughter refused to engage, shutting down and retreating emotionally. The tension in the family home was palpable, and Alex, deeply concerned for the well-being of his daughter and his wife, felt that he was losing control of the situation. Little did he know, his daughter's jealousy had already reached a dangerous tipping point. As the weeks went by, Alex's daughter began formulating a plan, one that would end her father's life. The night of Alex Ferreira's murder was like any other in the quiet neighborhood of Jataí. It was November 2020, and the warm Brazilian evening had settled over the city. Inside Alex's house, however, a horrific plan was unfolding. Alex's daughter had been consumed by her obsessive feelings for Maely and her jealousy toward her father. Her mind was set. If Alex was out of the way, she believed she could have Maely all to herself. That night, while Alex was alone in the house, his daughter entered through the back door. She carried a kitchen knife, her emotions spiraling out of control. In her mind, this was the only solution to her problem. What happened next was a brutal and violent attack. According to police reports, Alex was stabbed multiple times in the chest and neck. He didn't stand a chance against the blind fury of his daughter's rage. After the attack, the daughter fled the house, leaving her father to bleed out on the floor. It wasn't until later that night, when Maely returned home, that the horrifying scene was discovered. She walked into the house and found Alex lying in a pool of blood, unresponsive. Panic set in as she frantically called for help, but by the time the paramedics arrived, it was too late. Alex was already dead. The police were called to the scene, and an immediate investigation was launched. Maely was in shock, unable to process what had happened. The neighborhood, too, was stunned by the sudden violence in what had been a peaceful community. As investigators began piecing together the events of that night, they quickly realized that this was not a random attack. Within hours of the murder, Alex's daughter was brought in for questioning. Her behavior was cold and detached, a stark contrast to the grieving family members who were gathered outside the police station. After hours of interrogation, the unthinkable happened. Alex's daughter confessed to the murder. In a chilling statement, she admitted that she had killed her father out of jealousy and love for her stepmother. She believed that with Alex out of the picture, she and Maely could be together. The confession sent shockwaves through the community, and the details of the case soon spread across the country. The idea that a daughter could murder her own father because of an obsessive love for her stepmother was incomprehensible. Following her confession, Alex's daughter was arrested and charged with her father's murder. The case quickly gained national attention, with media outlets covering every detail of the investigation. The brutality of the crime, combined with the twisted nature of the motive, made this one of the most shocking cases in recent Brazilian history. During the trial, psychological experts were brought in to evaluate Alex's daughter. They described her as emotionally unstable, with deep-seated issues related to attachment and jealousy. It became clear that her obsession with Maely had clouded her judgment, leading her to believe that her father's death was the only way to resolve her feelings. However, the court was divided. Was this purely a crime of passion, or was there something more sinister at play? The defense argued that Alex's daughter had been suffering from a psychological disorder that impaired her ability to control her actions. They claimed that her feelings for Maely were a symptom of a deeper mental health issue that had gone untreated. However, the prosecution maintained that this was a calculated and deliberate act of murder, driven by jealousy and possessiveness. Ultimately, the court found Alex's daughter guilty of murder. Due to her age and mental state, she was sentenced to a juvenile detention facility rather than an adult prison, but the impact of her crime would be felt for years to come. The case raised important questions about mental health, family dynamics, and the warning signs of obsessive behavior that went unnoticed until it was too late. The story of Alex Ferreira's murder is a tragedy on many levels. A father lost his life, a daughter became a murderer, and a family was destroyed by jealousy and obsession. The once happy home that Alex and Maely had built was torn apart, leaving behind nothing but grief and unanswered questions. Maely, now a widow, must live with the knowledge that the man she loved was killed by someone so close to both of them, his own daughter. As the dust settled, many in the community were left wondering how such a horrific event could have happened. Were there warning signs that were missed? Could this tragedy have been prevented if someone had recognized the depth of Alex's daughter's obsession? The case serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked emotions and the importance of seeking help when mental health issues arise. One of the key takeaways from this case is the importance of mental health awareness, especially in family dynamics. Obsession, jealousy, and possessiveness can often be signs of deeper psychological issues that, if left untreated, can spiral into dangerous territory. In Alex's case, the signs were there, but no one knew how to address them until it was too late. This case also highlights the importance of paying attention to children and teenagers' emotional well-being. If Alex's daughter had received the support she needed, perhaps this tragedy could have been avoided. It's a heartbreaking reminder that mental health should never be ignored. The murder of Alex Ferreira by his own daughter is a story that will continue to haunt those who hear it. It's a tale of love turned toxic, of jealousy that led to violence, and of a family shattered by unimaginable tragedy. While justice was served in the courtroom, the emotional scars left behind will last a lifetime. If you or someone you know is dealing with feelings of jealousy, obsession, or any mental health challenges, it's important to seek help. Don't wait until it's too late to recognize the signs of emotional instability. There are resources available to help prevent tragedies like this from happening. If this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for more true crime stories, and leave a comment below. Remember, recognizing the warning signs can save lives.